Hi, this is Jill Getch. This is my reflection over my SH lesson. I think overall it went pretty well, and I wanted to make a note that my cooperating teacher volunteered to help me out with filming my video session, and she stopped it right at 15 minutes because she knew it had to be a 15-minute lesson, and so I was planning on having her film the whole thing and then I would edit it down to the 15 minutes. So it does stop after the first 15 minutes of me teaching, but I think it gives enough footage anyway for me to talk about the classroom management, which is the topic for my reflection. Um, it's a full day kindergarten class. Most of the students are still 5 years old, so it's a young kindergarten class. And with 22 students, my thought going into this is that, they need some movement, they need some change of seating. So I did a whole group. I did some shuffling activity and some seat work time too. And because I feel like it's important for them to do that. The challenge with that, the flip side, is the transitions. I felt like when I went back and looked at it, those are obviously the times where you see most of the behavior and the talking starting to occur and trying to get everybody quieted back down so they can listen to the next direction. During the video portion, I felt like that was the time that they were most engaged, which doesn't surprise me. They like watching videos. I only had to do a couple of nonverbal, like, you know, to a few students, or there was one student I think that was kind of going underneath the easel that I had to redirect to sit on back, out from under there. And then when we rotated a half of a turn to start coming up with the SH words, again, it was like I had to maybe do some verbal prompting that time, saying bump, ba bump, to get them to be quiet. I think the most effective part of that, to get them to be quiet, was when I told them the expectation of which kids I would call on. And it was, I'm looking for kids that are sitting and with their voices off and their hands raised. I will call on you to give me an SH word. And that seemed to work pretty well. And then I felt like halfway through, they were all starting to blurt things out. So then I, wanted to bring them back in again. So I said, do SH words, or does SH always have to be at the beginning of the word, or who can give me one at the end? And they love clues. I've been in this classroom for 4 weeks, and I've kind of figured out that I give clues, and they love to do that. So even when they're lining up, if I say, okay, if your last name begins with a b, then they line up. Or if you have a lunch, if you picked lunch number they like to do that kind of a thing. So when I said, I'm thinking of a word that ends in sh, and I do this with my hair every morning, that kind of stuff I think works pretty well. Um, when we did the shuffle activity, I liked it. I had taught the CH lesson the week before, and I tried it with the choo 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 going back to their desk. I wanted to see how that would work before I did my official lesson that I'm turning into you. And it's a little chaotic, but after talking to my cooperating teacher, she really liked it because it involves movement and they're saying the word shuffle, and it's kind of, it's another way to have them practice the SH. And kids need that movement, and it's okay for them to be a little bit loud during times of transition like that. And then I felt like I was losing them a little bit when I was trying to get them to look on the document camera on how to highlight the SH. So I kind of went through that quickly and let them work at their own pace, because some kids were working really quickly, some weren't. So I kind of wrapped up that portion quickly. Some wanted to color, but I thought let's just wait till the end of the day for that. And I had to, call out a student, I think at one point during my lesson, to say, so what were the directions with that? Were you listening? Tell your friends what the directions were. And of course, I knew that he wouldn't know because he was talking and not paying attention. That seemed to work pretty well. And then everybody quieted down. Another technique that I used that was more on like the positive side was to complement tables. I like the way the red table is working or the blue table is working. And that seemed to be a really quiet time when they actually began to start working on like their sorting activity for the assessment piece. They seemed to work, pretty well and respond to the positive feedback when they were doing the right things. Going forward, I think classroom management is just always going to be, I will always be looking for new techniques and ways to engage the kids, and look for things to improve upon in next year when I'm teaching. Thank you.